Jake got a package. Matchbox, skybusters, NASA Shuttle. This is going to be a quick video because I got to leave very early in the morning, but NASA Space Shuttle. Back of the box. It says, imagine this. The NASA Shuttle launches like a rocket. No shit. Moves into orbit like a spacecraft. No shit. And lands like an airplane. Obvious. For those of you who are watching this and shouldn't be but are too young, the NASA Shuttle is a reusable spacecraft and is a lifting body like the Dream Chaser in one of my previous videos. Mission is adventure. Cargo space is... Gotta count these fucking burrs. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Is a 8 out of 10. Speed is 9 out of 10. Climate resistance 9 out of 10. Equipped all 36 aircrafts. Blah, blah, blah. NASA trademarks were provided and permitted for use by NASA. Alrighty, this is 2011 copyright, so we're going to open this up. And it says 2011. And good news is, it's got that old landing gear that I love so much. Alrighty, here she is. I used to have a Shuttle, but it was a weird-ass gold one. But it's your stereotypical Shuttle. It's your stereotypical Shuttle right here. Space Shuttle Discovery. It's got NASA, U.S. flag, United States, Space Shuttle Discovery. What this would do when it would get into orbit is these right here are all one big cargo door. So they'd open up, and then the Canada arm, built by Canada, you're welcome, United States, would open up and service different satellites or the space station or any other sort of space probe in orbit over the Earth. And similar, this is a modern day version. Look at the nose shapes. They are very similar between the Shuttle and the Dream Chaser. The back, not so much. But they got the same basic outline, same rough outline. It's got a fuselage right here, and then it's got the wings, which are right here and here. So that means they're both lifting bodies. Shuttle did have a Soviet copycat, as most things in the 80s, and that was the Buran, which was launched on the Energia, and only launched into space only once, and only flew once. There were 2 built, and they only flew one, and they brought one to the Paris Air Show in, I think, 1989, or in the late 80s somewhere. But it's got the heat shield tiles underneath. 2009 metallic copyright, and it's got the little tiny elephants to tell you that it's made in Thailand. Skybuster model 89, it says right there. And then if I move the gear, it says Space Shuttle right there. That's what it says. I just sort of had a little bit of a verb. And here's where the crew would enter and exit when they land. Or when they're on the pad. Well, this is where they'd enter on the pad, these two right here. And then there's where they'd exit when they're on the ground. And then all they do is there's like a little door inside the cargo bay. They hop out there through the airlock, put their suits on, go through the airlock, and then go work on whatever it is they got to work on. Hop back in, and down they go. Yeah, and then this right here, the rudder, it would split in half and be the speed brake. And it would also have a parachute, which I believe would be that little guy right underneath the tail. I'll get a little pencil in there. So right in there, that's what the parachute would be. And of course, there'd be no fuel coming back from space, so that means it's just gliding all the way to the ground to either Kennedy Space Center in Florida or Edwards Air Force Base in California. One of my old instructors from a college course that I left because it was too far away for me to drive every day, actually witnessed the shuttle land at Edwards Air Force Base, which I thought was a pretty cool tidbit, but the instructor was a bit of a dick anyways. It's got the boosters to move around in space. There's 2 there, 2 on the other side, and then there's 6 on top of the nose. There's 2 there, there's 3 there, and then there's 3 there. That's to move around because there's no air in space, so they just gotta do it like that in like little bursts, like that, or down or up. But yeah, and these are ones to make them go forward. And when something's going forward in space, you can't really stop it unless if you have retro rockets to come out and stop it. But this thing doesn't have retro rockets, but it only goes up and goes back down. Not for interplanetary travel. It's got the old landing gear. I'm gonna just grab the Dream Chaser again for comparison. So here's the new gear. This is one of their variants that doesn't spin. Well, this one spins. This one, fuck all, doesn't do shit. Yeah. Honestly, I used to have a space shuttle from a set that I got and it actually had the new landing gear. I didn't like it that much, so I cut it off and just had it as the shuttle as is. Gave it to one of my science teachers in grade 12 because he was a freaking legend. Shout out to Mr. Hogg. I don't know if he's got a channel, but shout out to Mr. Hogg anyways. Yeah. I like the shuttle. It's nice. I like it a lot. I don't like it in the gold one, but I do like it in its white version because it says NASA and it says Discovery. I think it's either Discovery or Atlantis. That was the only one to not go into space. No, wait. I think it was Discovery that was the only one that didn't go into space. I actually saw a mock-up of it in Seattle at their Air and Space Museum. So that was pretty neat. And yeah, I saw it. I was in awe of the size of it. And I actually got to walk through the cargo bay, which is pretty cool. And it was huge. It was a 1-to-1 replica, which I thought was pretty interesting. They've got an aviation part and they got a space exploration part. And the Russians eat frickin' sturgeon. How lucky are they? They get to eat fucking sturgeon. I haven't had sturgeon, but I have had Arctic char, and it's pretty good. It's from Iceland. You can get it at your local superstore if you live in Canada. It's in the export section. It may show Russian or Slavic words, or Cyrillic, which is what it's called. It may show Cyrillic, but it's from Iceland. You always look at the product of. You always look at the product of to know where it's from. And I looked at it. My mom's like, "Oh, it's probably from Russia." I look at the product of. It says product of Iceland. So I was like, "Oh wow, this is pretty good." I actually made like a little sandwich of it. It was actually pretty good. And yeah. Anyways, this is the NASA space shuttle. And it's got sort of a nose down attitude because it comes down very quick and it's using their wings as basically a natural speed brake along with that, and it does that so it's easier to get the astronauts out from the capsule. They just use regular stairs that they roll up to big passenger planes. They just use those, and if the nose was more level, not a chance in hell. So they have to bring the nose down. But yeah, there's like a few smudges around the Discovery nose print, but other than that, it's a beautiful, beautiful model. Yeah, I love it. I love it. There's words that can't explain it. I just freaking love spacecraft. I love spacecraft like this and the Dream Chaser. I got the whole NASA crew. I got SR-71, Space Shuttle, and the Dream Chaser. So I've collected them all. So that's Cold War to somewhat modern era, and then that's future, right back there with the Dream Chaser. But yeah, there's the NASA shuttle, Space Shuttle Discovery. And I gotta go on a trip tomorrow. But by the time you're seeing this, I would have already gone on the trip. So I'm just sort of prepping for a trip. So you'll see this while I am away. So that's about it. See ya.